The courtroom felt like an icebox. Maya sat perfectly still in her chair, her hands folded in her lap. She wore a simple blue dress, the one her husband Michael used to say made her eyes sparkle. But today, those eyes held no sparkle. They were dry, even though her heart was breaking into a million pieces. Across the table sat Michael, her husband of 12 years. Well, soon-to-be ex-husband. He looked different now. His suit was more expensive than anything he owned when they first met. His watch caught the light and flashed gold. Even his hair was styled differently, slicked back like he was some kind of movie star. But the worst part wasn't Michael. It was the woman sitting right beside him. Rachel Moore. Blonde hair flowing down her shoulders like a waterfall of gold. She sat there with a little paper fan in her hand, waving it back and forth like she was watching a play. Her lips curved into a smile that made Maya's stomach turn. Every few seconds, Rachel would lean over and whisper something to Michael, and they would both look at Maya like she was a bug they were about to squash. The lawyer pushed papers across the table. Michael picked up his fancy gold pen, the one Rachel probably bought him, and he signed his name on the divorce papers. His hand didn't even shake. He signed away 12 years of marriage like he was signing for a package delivery. "Finally free," Rachel said, not even trying to whisper. She flipped her hair and looked at Maya with fake pity in her eyes. Now Michael can have the life he always deserved, with someone who actually fits in his world. Maya felt her fingernails dig into her palms. But she didn't speak. She didn't cry. She just watched. Behind the big desk at the front of the room sat Judge Thompson. He was a serious man with gray hair and deep lines around his eyes. Those eyes had seen a lot in 30 years of being a judge. Right now, those eyes were watching Rachel and Michael very carefully. His face didn't show what he was thinking, but something flickered there. Something that looked almost like anger. Nobody noticed. Rachel and Michael were too busy celebrating. But Maya noticed. She noticed everything. Let me tell you how Maya ended up in that cold courtroom, watching her life fall apart. Maya was only 34 years old, but she felt ancient. 12 years ago, she met Michael at a coffee shop. He was trying to start his own business, full of big dreams and empty pockets. Maya had just finished college with a degree in business. She was smart. Really smart. Companies wanted to hire her. Good companies with good money. But Michael needed help. He needed someone to believe in him. So Maya said no to those job offers. She used her savings to help Michael start his company. She worked day and night helping him write business plans, talk to investors, and keep track of money. When things got hard, she got a regular job to pay their bills while Michael focused on building his dream. "We're a team," Michael always said. "When my company succeeds, it's our success. We're building this together." Maya believed him. She believed every word. And the company did succeed. It grew bigger and bigger. Michael hired more people. He got an office in a tall building downtown. He started wearing expensive suits and going to fancy parties. That's when Rachel showed up. Rachel got hired as Michael's executive assistant. From day one, she treated Maya like dirt. When Maya came to the office to bring Michael lunch, Rachel would look her up and down and smile that fake smile. "Oh, you're here again," Rachel would say. "Michael is so busy with important meetings. Maybe you should call first next time." At company parties, Rachel made sure everyone knew she belonged there and Maya didn't. She talked about expensive wines and trips to Paris. She dropped names of rich people like they were her best friends. And whenever Maya tried to join the conversation, Rachel would change the subject or suddenly remember something urgent to tell Michael. The worst part was watching Michael change. Slowly, bit by bit, he started treating Maya differently. He came home late. He stopped asking about her day. When she tried to talk about their future, he got annoyed. "Can't you see I'm tired?" he would snap. "Running a company is hard. You wouldn't understand." But Maya understood plenty. She understood the perfume smell on his shirts that wasn't hers. She understood the text messages he hid. She understood the way he looked at Rachel when he thought nobody was watching. The final proof came at the company anniversary party 6 months ago. Maya wore her best dress, the pretty green one she saved up for. She did her hair special. She wanted Michael to remember why he fell in love with her. But when she arrived at the party, Rachel was already stuck to Michael's side. Rachel wore a dress that cost more than Maya's rent. Her jewelry sparkled under the lights. She laughed at everything Michael said and touched his arm constantly. Then Rachel saw Maya and her eyes lit up like a cat spotting a mouse. "Oh, Michael," Rachel said loud enough for everyone nearby to hear. "Your wife is here. Doesn't she look so natural? That beautiful dark skin must make it easy to tan, right? So genetic." People turned to look. Some looked embarrassed. Others whispered behind their hands. Maya felt her face get hot, but not from a tan. From shame. From anger. From the realization that this woman was trying to erase her from Michael's life. And Michael? He just laughed nervously and changed the subject. He didn't defend Maya. He didn't tell Rachel to stop. He just let it happen. That's when Maya knew her marriage was over. But knowing it and accepting it are two different things. 4 months after that party, Maya lived in a fog. She watched Rachel post pictures on social media at Maya's favorite restaurants. She saw Rachel wearing jewelry that looked exactly like pieces Michael said he couldn't afford to buy Maya. It was like Rachel was systematically replacing her, erasing every trace of Maya from Michael's life. The neighbors started looking at Maya with pity. Friends stopped inviting her to gatherings. Even the mailman gave her sad smiles. Everyone knew what was happening except Maya wasn't supposed to know. But Maya knew. Oh, she knew everything. She just wasn't ready to show her hand yet. Back in that cold courtroom, Maya could feel Rachel's eyes on her, studying her, enjoying her pain like it was dessert. The lawyer pushed the papers toward Maya now. "Your turn to sign," he said. His voice was bored, like this was just another Tuesday for him. Like he wasn't helping destroy a woman's life. "Let's finish this in a civilized way." Maya picked up the pen. It felt heavy in her hand. Heavier than it should be. Everyone in the room was watching her. Waiting. Rachel leaned forward in her chair. She wanted to see Maya cry. She wanted to see Maya fall apart. That's what this whole thing had been about from the beginning. Not just stealing Michael, but breaking Maya completely. And Rachel had been very good at it. The torture hadn't started today. It started the day Rachel walked into Michael's office building with her designer bags and her perfect smile. From that very first day, Rachel had a plan. And that plan was to prove that a woman like Maya didn't belong in Michael's world. It started small. Little cuts that nobody else noticed but hurt Maya deep inside. At the first company dinner Maya attended after Rachel got hired, Rachel made sure to sit right next to Michael. When Maya tried to tell a story about their early days together, Rachel interrupted. "Oh, that reminds me of this amazing restaurant in France," Rachel said, completely ignoring Maya's story. "Michael, we simply must go there for the Paris business trip. The wine selection is extraordinary." Michael's eyes lit up. "That sounds perfect, Rachel. Make the reservations." Maya sat there, her story forgotten, feeling invisible. Then there were the corrections. Rachel loved to correct Maya in public. When Maya pronounced a French word at a wine tasting, Rachel laughed that tinkling fake laugh. "How adorable," Rachel cooed. "It's actually pronounced differently, sweetie. But don't feel bad. Not everyone grows up learning these things. Your pronunciation is very unique." The other wives at the event smiled uncomfortably. Maya felt like she was shrinking into her chair. At a barbecue for company employees, Rachel held court like a queen. She talked about her vacation in Italy, her shopping trip to New York, her weekend at some exclusive spa. Every story was designed to show off, to prove she belonged in a world of luxury and class. And every story had a little poison dart aimed at Maya. "I just think it's so important to be well-traveled," Rachel said, looking directly at Maya. "It broadens your perspective, you know? Makes you more sophisticated. More worldly." Some people just don't have those opportunities growing up. Maya had wanted to scream that she could have traveled too if she hadn't spent all her money building Michael's company. But she stayed quiet. She always stayed quiet back then. The worst torture was watching Rachel take over Maya's place piece by piece. Rachel started joining Michael for business dinners. She went with him to conferences. She was his +1 at networking events. And slowly, people stopped expecting Maya to be there. They stopped asking about her. "Where's your wife?" someone would ask Michael. "Oh, she's not really into these business things," Michael would say with a shrug. As if Maya hadn't built the foundation of his entire company. Rachel would smile and touch Michael's arm. "Good thing you have me to help with all this." The social media posts were calculated cruelty. Rachel made sure to tag Michael in photos at restaurants Maya used to love. Places that held special memories for Michael and Maya. But now Rachel was making new memories there, erasing the old ones like they never existed. One post showed Rachel wearing diamond earrings. Maya recognized them immediately. She had seen those exact earrings in a jewelry store window months ago and mentioned how beautiful they were. Michael said they were too expensive. But apparently they weren't too expensive for Rachel. The caption on the photo said, "When someone really appreciates you, they show it." Feeling blessed. Maya saw that post while sitting alone in the house she shared with Michael. The house that felt less like a home every day. She stared at those earrings on Rachel's ears and something inside her cracked. But it wasn't a crack that made her fall apart. It was a crack that let something else in. Something harder. Something that had been sleeping inside Maya for too long. Determination. But Rachel wasn't done yet. She wanted complete victory. Total humiliation. The company anniversary party was Rachel's masterpiece of cruelty. She planned everything. She chose the location, an exclusive country club where the members were almost all white and wealthy. The kind of place that made Maya feel like everyone was watching her, judging her, finding her lacking. Rachel wore a dress that probably cost more than a used car. Her hair and makeup were perfect. She walked around that party like she owned the place, and maybe in a way she did. This was her world. Her people. Maya arrived in her green dress feeling pretty until she walked through the door. Then she felt all wrong. Too dark. Too simple. Too common. Rachel spotted her immediately and her smile got bigger. Meaner. "Maya. You came." Rachel rushed over, her voice dripping with fake sweetness. "I wasn't sure this would be your kind of scene. It's all very corporate and stuffy." She linked her arm through Michael's. They looked perfect together. Golden couple. Power couple. Everything Maya and Michael used to be. Throughout the party, Rachel made sure Maya felt out of place. When Maya tried to join conversations, Rachel would steer them toward topics Maya knew nothing about. Stocks. Real estate investments. Golf memberships. Things that required money Maya had given to Michael's business instead of spending on herself. And Michael let it happen. Worse, he participated. He laughed at Rachel's jokes. He barely looked at Maya. When Maya tried to hold his hand, he pulled away to grab a drink. The breaking point came near the end of the party. Maya was standing alone by the dessert table when she heard Rachel's voice carry across the room. "Honestly, I don't know how Michael managed all these years," Rachel was saying to a group of other employees. "He needed someone who could really support him at this level. Someone who understands the business world. Thank goodness he finally has that now." Everyone in that group looked uncomfortable. They knew who Rachel was talking about. They looked toward Maya with pity in their eyes. Maya set down her plate. She walked to the bathroom on shaking legs. She locked the door and looked at herself in the mirror. Her eyes were wet but no tears fell. She wouldn't give Rachel that satisfaction. In that bathroom, Maya made a decision. She would let Michael go. She would sign the divorce papers. But she wouldn't go quietly. She wouldn't let them win completely. Because while Rachel was busy showing off and Michael was busy being impressed, Maya had been busy too. She had been documenting everything. Saving everything. Preparing for this exact moment. Over the next few months, Maya became a ghost in her own home. Michael barely noticed her. He was too busy with Rachel, planning their future. They thought Maya was broken. They thought she had given up. But broken people don't spend hours late at night going through bank statements. They don't make copies of business documents. They don't meet with lawyers in secret. Maya did all those things and more. While they celebrated, she prepared. While they planned, she strategized. And now, sitting in this courtroom with that pen in her hand, Maya was ready to show them exactly what happens when you underestimate a wounded woman who has learned to fight back. Maya looked down at the divorce papers in front of her. The pen felt warm in her hand now. She could feel everyone's impatience growing. Michael tapped his fancy gold pen on the table. Rachel's fan moved faster. The lawyer checked his expensive watch. They all wanted this over. They wanted Maya to sign and disappear from their lives forever. Maya set down the pen. "I have some questions first," she said quietly. Michael groaned. "Come on, Maya. Don't make this harder than it needs to be. Just sign the papers." "I just want to make sure I understand everything," Maya said. She looked at the lawyer. "This paper says I get the house we bought 12 years ago. Is that right?" The lawyer nodded, barely paying attention. "Yes, that's correct." "And Michael keeps the company," Maya continued. "The company we started together in our tiny apartment. The one I used all my savings to help create." "The company is in Michael's name," the lawyer said in a bored voice. "Legally, it's his business." Rachel couldn't help herself. She leaned forward with that cruel smile. "Some of us actually contribute to businesses, sweetie. We don't just bring lunch and smile." Maya ignored her. She reached into her bag and pulled out a thick folder. She set it on the table with a soft thud that somehow sounded loud in the quiet courtroom. "What's that?" Michael asked. For the first time that day, he looked nervous. "Just some papers I found," Maya said. "I've been doing some spring cleaning. You know how it is. You start looking through old boxes and find all sorts of interesting things." She opened the folder and pulled out the first document. "This is the original business registration for your company, Michael. See that signature right there? That's mine. And see this part where it says co-founder? That's me too." Michael's face went pale. "That's just a formality. We changed that later." "Did we?" Maya pulled out another paper. "Because I don't see any legal document changing my status. In fact, according to these corporate records, I'm still listed as a 50% owner of the company." The lawyer sat up straight now. He wasn't bored anymore. "Let me see those documents." Rachel's fan stopped moving. "That's impossible. Michael told me he owned the whole company." "Michael tells a lot of stories," Maya said. Her voice was still quiet, but there was steel in it now. "Would you like to hear another one? This one's about company funds." She pulled out bank statements. Lots of them. Highlighted in yellow were dozens of transactions. "These are withdrawals from the company account," Maya explained. "Large withdrawals. 50,000 here. 75,000 there. All going to personal accounts. Hotels. Jewelry. Cars. Vacations to France and Italy." She looked at Rachel. "Did you enjoy Italy, Rachel? I saw the pictures. Beautiful country. Expensive country, too." Judge Thompson, who had been silent this whole time, leaned forward. His eyes were sharp now. Very sharp. "Let me see those bank statements." Maya handed them over. The judge studied them carefully. His jaw got tighter with each page he read. Michael tried to speak. "Your Honor, I can explain. Those were business expenses." "Business expenses?" Judge Thompson's voice was cold. "Taking your mistress on vacation is a business expense? Buying her diamond earrings is a business expense." Rachel's face turned red. She looked at Michael. "You said you bought those with your bonus money." "He bought them with company money," Maya said. Money that came from a company I legally own half of. Money he stole. The word stole hung in the air like a bomb. Maya wasn't finished. She pulled out more papers. And then there's this. Michael took out a loan against the house. Our house. The one the divorce papers say I get to keep. Except he took out a $500,000 loan against it and never told me. He used my forged signature on the loan documents. That's a lie. Michael jumped to his feet. I never forged anything. Maya pulled out one more paper. This is the loan application. See this signature that's supposed to be mine? I had a handwriting expert examine it. Want to guess what they found? The lawyer grabbed the document. His face went from tan to gray in about 5 seconds. Judge Thompson stood up. When he spoke, his voice filled the entire courtroom. Mr. Carter, did you or did you not forge your wife's signature on legal documents? Michael opened his mouth, closed it, opened it again. No words came out. Rachel stood up too. This is ridiculous. Michael would never do something like that. She's just making things up because she's jealous. Jealous. Maya turned to look at Rachel for the first time since entering the courtroom. Really look at her. Jealous of what exactly? A woman who helped a man steal from his wife? A woman who built her happiness on someone else's pain? Why would I be jealous of that? Rachel had no answer. Judge Thompson's voice cut through the silence. I've seen enough. Mr. Carter, you have committed fraud. You have misappropriated company funds. You have forged legal documents. This divorce hearing is over, but your legal troubles are just beginning. He turned to his assistant. Contact the district attorney's office. I want charges filed immediately. Michael's lawyer tried to speak. Your Honor, perhaps we can work something out. The time for working things out was before your client decided to commit multiple felonies, Judge Thompson said. As for the divorce, I'm making a new ruling right now. Mrs. Carter gets full ownership of the house, clear of any loans that were fraudulently taken against it. She also gets her rightful 50% ownership of the company fully recognized and restored. You can't do that, Rachel shrieked. I absolutely can do that, Judge Thompson said. And I'm also ordering Mr. Carter to repay every penny he illegally withdrew from company accounts. With interest. Mrs. Carter, you'll be receiving a detailed breakdown of the restitution owed to you. He looked at Maya. His expression softened just a little. I'm sorry you had to go through this, Mrs. Carter. But I'm glad you were smart enough to protect yourself. Maya nodded. She didn't trust herself to speak yet. Michael collapsed back into his chair. His fancy suit suddenly looked too big for him. His gold pen fell from his fingers and rolled across the floor. Rachel looked like she had been slapped. Michael, do something. Tell him this isn't fair. Fair. Judge Thompson turned his sharp eyes on Rachel. Let me tell you about fair, young lady. Fair is not humiliating a woman who sacrificed everything for her husband. Fair is not stealing from the person who helped build your success. Fair is not parading your affair in public while destroying someone's reputation. You wanted to play grown-up games. Now you get to deal with grown-up consequences. Rachel grabbed her purse and ran from the courtroom. Her high heels clicked frantically on the floor. The sound got quieter and quieter until it disappeared completely. Michael sat there alone now. No fancy lawyer. No pretty mistress. Just him and the mess he made. I'm sorry, he whispered to Maya. I'm so sorry. Maya stood up. She gathered her folder of evidence. She looked at the man she used to love. The man who had been her whole world for 12 years. No, you're not, she said softly. You're sorry you got caught. There's a difference. She walked toward the courtroom door. Her legs felt stronger with each step. Her head felt clearer. The weight that had been crushing her chest for months was finally lifting. At the door, she turned back one more time. Michael was crying now. Real tears. Messy tears. The kind that come when you realize you destroyed the best thing in your life and you can never get it back. Judge Thompson caught Maya's eye and nodded once. A sign of respect. A sign that he saw what she had been through and admired how she handled it. Maya nodded back. Then she walked out of that cold courtroom into the warm sunshine outside. Her phone buzzed. It was a text from her old college friend, the one who had been offering her a job for years. The one she kept saying no to because she was too busy helping Michael. Coffee this week? We have a position opening up. Executive level. I think you'd be perfect. Maya smiled. A real smile. The first real smile in months. She typed back, I'd love to. I'm ready for something new. And she was. Ready for a new job. A new life. A new chapter where she wasn't invisible anymore. Where her intelligence and hard work were valued. Where she didn't have to make herself smaller so someone else could feel bigger. 6 months later, Maya was thriving. The company she had helped build was now officially half hers. She sold her shares for more money than she had ever imagined having. The house was truly hers now, fully paid off thanks to the court order. But more than the money, she had herself back. Her confidence. Her power. Her voice. Michael lost everything. The company collapsed without Maya's shares and the money he had to repay. Rachel left him the moment his bank account emptied. He ended up working a regular job, living in a small apartment, paying restitution for years to come. Some people said Maya was lucky. That she got a lucky break when Judge Thompson saw through Michael's lies. But it wasn't luck. Luck is random. What Maya did took courage, intelligence, patience. She didn't react in anger. She didn't fall apart. She planned. She prepared. She fought smart instead of fighting loud. And in the end, the woman they tried to erase became the woman they could never forget. Because that's the thing about underestimating people. When you push someone down and count them out, you better make sure they stay down. Because if they get back up, if they find their strength, if they learn to fight back, they become unstoppable. Maya learned that lesson in that cold courtroom. She learned that being quiet doesn't mean being weak. That being patient doesn't mean being passive. That sometimes the best revenge isn't revenge at all. It's justice. And justice, when it finally comes, is the sweetest victory of all.